the governor of Missouri seems to be welcoming data centers with open arms. And Jess Piper, you guys might know her as the Dirt Road Democrat, is explaining why Missouri doesn't want to be the new AI data center hub of the United States of America, and B, what Missouri actually does want from its state.
Let me show you something tragic. Missouri Governor Kehoe outlines vision for AI, wants Missouri to be the next Silicon Valley. Oh, Mike. He's talking about data centers, not AI. And Missouri can't become the next Silicon Valley because of what his party has done to our state for over 2 decades. Silicon Valley is what it is because of huge educational investments by places like Stanford. Over 33% of Missouri schools run a 4-day week. We are 49th in starting teacher pay and 48th in educational funding. That doesn't happen in Silicon Valley. We haven't had investments in roads and bridges in 20 years. We don't invest in healthcare. Almost half of the state is in a childcare desert. Not to sound super snotty, but Mike Kehoe isn't educated himself, so I think this probably went right over his head. You have to make massive investments in your state and your community and your people for investors to come into your state. AI data centers come to states like Missouri because they actually extract resources. They take the water, they force the building of power grids onto us, and then they charge us more. They say they're going to bring 100 jobs, but the well-paying jobs are worked remotely by engineers. Most of the jobs that actually happen around data centers seem to be security related, not well-paying. His statement would almost make me laugh if it weren't so fucking tragic. Because Missouri has great people, we're a great state. We should be able to be the next Silicon Valley. But because of the Republican Party, we can't be. Because we can't even balance a budget. We had $2 billion in a surplus just a couple years ago, and now we're about to run a deficit. Why? Because we give tax cuts to the wealthy, while we close hospitals and libraries, while we don't pave our roads, and while we defund education. So no, Mike, we will not be the next Silicon Valley. And I'll be damned if I let AI data centers take over my state.
Who's getting paid? I don't understand why anybody would want these data centers in the towns or the state that they live in, knowing what they do, unless there's something in it for them, right? So the next town over, Manuka, their village board passed a data center, huge data center going in over there. Everybody in town's like, no, we don't want this data center. Well, too bad you didn't pay attention to who you voted for in the elections, and you voted for people who want this kind of data center. But if you live in a small town like that, 12.5, maybe 12.8, that's how many people, 12,800, maybe. And so you live in that small community. You're a part of the village board that votes for this stuff, and you live in that small community. Why on earth would you ever vote to put these monstrosities in your own community? Unless you're getting a financial benefit. Now, do I have any proof that anybody's getting paid? No, of course not. If I had proof, I would be doing content with said proof. I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together, and it's not coming up to 4. And I know some of the people in the village, on the village of Manuka's board, actually do give a shit about their community. I'm not sure about all of them, but some of them I know do. So why? You know what these things do to your community. And listen, far be it from me to even attempt to add to what Jess has to say about the state of Missouri. I don't know if there are 2 people that know the state of Missouri any better than Jess Piper and Will Westmoreland. And so when it comes to Missouri politics, I tend to defer to the 2 of them. And Jess's message has been consistently the same forever, that the state is lacking in several areas. Why bring in entities that continue to add to the deterioration of an already deteriorating society? I mean, invest in that society. Don't let the data centers come in and suck it dry. She is 100% correct that what goes on in places like Silicon Valley or in Missouri don't go on in places like Silicon Valley. And he's trying to sell it to the people of Missouri as that's what we're going to be. We're going to be the next Silicon Valley. And I can't tell if he actually believes that, if he's dumb enough to believe that, or if somebody's lining his fucking pockets to say it. It might be a little bit of both.